So we had these absolutely horrific wildfires in Maui in Hawaii recently, and the death toll just recently climbed over 100. This is verified now. But look, man, it's going to get a lot worse than that because I think there's over 1,000 that are missing. And with a wildfire like this and they're recovering bodies, I mean, they're literally burnt to a crisp. They're unrecognizable. Usually, what happens in these situations is you have to go to a dentist and look at dental records to figure out who's who. I mean, it's dark. It is really sad. It's really heartbreaking. And of course, look, this is now we're experiencing things like this on a pretty regular basis because of climate change. July was the hottest month ever recorded in human history. We've had an increase in the American West when it comes to wildfires. They've gotten more powerful and stronger, and they've gotten more common. There's, of course, all sorts of extreme weather increases. Phoenix just broke a record. It was like over 30 days, over 110 degrees, but the previous record was like 18 days. It was over 30 days that this happened. I mean, it's going on and on. In like eastern New York, there was this flood event that they said is like a 1 in 1,000-year event. But that's the thing, man. These 1 in 1,000-year events are now happening on a regular basis. And you still have people pretending like climate change isn't real. You still have junk scientists who are paid for by ExxonMobil or Chevron mucking up a fake debate as if like, oh, it's a natural cycle or something. Or, it's just crazy. It's crazy stuff. But look, the way it's supposed to work is the media are supposed to be the truth tellers. The media are supposed to give you facts and information. But you're about to see their colossal failure on this issue. Credit here to Media Matters, who did an empirical analysis of media coverage on the Hawaii wildfires. Look at this, guys. Only 4% of national TV news segments about the catastrophic wildfires in Hawaii mentioned climate change. 4%. Now understand something. Despite the lack of the media doing their job, you still have people, rightly, the majority of the population, and come to the conclusion, oh, this is definitely climate change, because we all see it. See, now the anecdotal experience that everybody has matches up with the empirical data. There was a time where just the empirical data was there and people didn't anecdotally feel like, yeah, things are changing. Now everybody's anecdotal experience matches the empirical data. So even without them doing their job, people are still like, wow, this is a problem. Now imagine if the media cover this the way they should. We'd have 80 or 90% of the country saying, oh my God, we got to do something about this. Let's get some of the specifics here. During coverage of Hawaii's catastrophic wildfires, which have devastated the historic town of Lahaina and led to the displacement of hundreds of families, the destruction of dozens of businesses and landmarks, and the deaths of at least 55 individuals, now it's over 100, like I said, major TV news networks largely ignored clear climate signals linking this devastating historic extreme weather event to global warming. Over a 2-day period beginning August 9th, a Media Matters analysis found the following. So national TV news broadcasters, ABC, CBS, and NBC, and major cable news networks, CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, covered the Hawaii wildfires for 11 hours and 45 minutes across 209 segments. That's a lot of coverage. Only 4% of those 209 segments and weathercasts about the Hawaii wildfires played across national TV news mentioned the role of climate change. It's good that they covered it. It's bad they didn't link it to climate change. Because now it's viewed as like, well, it's just a thing that happens. Like, this is the implication some people will walk away with. Now it's just a thing that happens and it's a disaster and all. What are you going to do? Throw up your hands? No, this is something that requires a policy response, a policy reaction on top of deploy FEMA and all that stuff. It's like, well, we need to get more serious about this. And Biden, to his credit, did good stuff in the IRA with green technology and green jobs. But then he approved the Willow Project, which is going to further the problem. The fact that they don't link this to the broader issue means, what are they doing? Disaster porn. That's what they're doing. It's like, look at this terrible thing that's happening to people who aren't you. Let's keep a camera on it and let's just, wallow in the misery of what's going on without trying to give information and data and solutions to improve this stuff. Major cable news networks, CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC aired 10 hours and 26 minutes of coverage across 174 segments or weathercasts about the Hawaii wildfires. Only 8 segments mentioned the connection between the wildfires and climate change. MSNBC mentioned it 5 times, and CNN mentioned it 3. And of course, it looks like Fox News mentioned it not at all. Corporate broadcast networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, these are like the real serious nightly news people, aired a combined 1 hour and 20 minutes across 35 segments or weathercasts that discuss the Hawaii wildfires. None of the segments mentioned climate change. So the most serious news outlets, ABC, CBS, NBC, the non-political nightly news, none of them mentioned climate change. None of them. We got a real problem with the media in this country, man. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying independent media is a panacea, because it's not. It's not. Independent media has their own problems. audience capture is a colossal issue. It is. Terminal contrarianism is a very, very serious issue. And, you know, sometimes you got people being conspiracy brained in alternative media like that. These are all real problems that independent media has to grapple with. But, it's really decentralized, and different people who are not related at all with each other do their own show. And so they're responsible for their own actions. But my point is, it's supposed to be that mainstream media are the serious people. It's supposed to be they're the ones who, it's all about the facts. It's all about the information. They try as much to be like nonpartisan as possible or whatever. But as they try to do that tap dance, oh my God, we're not partisan, it's like they avoid offending the right so they won't bring up climate change. And it's like, but that's the correct thing to do in this instance. And, you're not going to get people properly educated if this is the way it works. And so, yet again, the failures of mainstream media are surpassing that of independent media, because they have a deeper responsibility to educate the population. And here they're doing the opposite. It's basically lying by omission. And that's unacceptable. That's the show. I love y'all. Thank you, as always, for listening to me babble. You know the drill. Everybody, please click like, click subscribe, click that bell icon so you get a notification every time a video drops. Thank you to everybody who supports this show on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who tips through YouTube with that thanks button below. And thank you to everybody who supports Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. If you don't support the channel, please consider doing it. I deeply appreciate it. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser, and you guys help build this show through small dollar donations. And that's all I got for you, man. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Later. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.